Hello, I am Adam Frederick, and this is my sarcoma story. In 2007, I was 26 years old, and I was experiencing significant back pain that was running down my leg. I was a former college football player, and when I originally went to my doctor, they said that is part of playing college football and the back pains that I was experiencing from it. However, 6 months later, it was still bothering me. So as I went back and they ran more tests, I found out that I had Ewing sarcoma. I had no idea what that was. I had no idea the severity of it. But as I started through the process at UPMC, the doctors were fantastic in laying out how to approach it. Dr. McGow was my surgeon. And as we went through the process, I started chemotherapy for about 4 to 5 months, where I would go to the hospital for 3 days at a time every other week. Basically, the chemotherapy drained everything from me, where I was completely bald, ate very little. Through that, I was able to shrink the cancer. And then in November 16th, 2007, Dr. McGow had the surgery. At that point, they removed the tumor, which was about 9 millimeters away from my hip. Going into the surgery, I wasn't sure if they were going to be removing my right hip, where I'd lose all use of my right leg, or if I would be able to come out and be able to walk after that. So went through the surgery, and it was about a 6.5-hour surgery. And I remember coming out, and they put the nurse put a phone next to me, said, "Your mother is," I was in the recovery room. She says, "Your mother's on the phone." And I remember the first thing I asked her was like, "Did they save my hip?" And I remember hearing her cry on the other side, saying that they were able to save it, and that they believe they got all of the tumor. During that time, you really find out who your friends are and who's going to step up and support you in difficult times. My younger sister was originally going to Ohio University, and she transferred back to go to Duquesne to be closer to home so she could support me through it. Her best friend at that time, Sarah, was going to Duquesne. So as Rachel would come visit me at the hospital, sometimes she would bring Sarah. And as Rachel and Sarah and I spent time together at the hospital, eventually it became more time where I spent time with Sarah. So it wasn't the ideal place to start a relationship at the Hillman Center, but she was extremely supportive as I went through all my treatments, all the ups and downs through my surgery, and as I fought through. She was there with me through every part of that. If she could be there for me during that time, who knows what we could go through together. 2 years later, we ended up getting married. Dr. McGow was in attendance and saw me walking down the aisle after giving me that surgery. Going into getting married, we knew that the likelihood of us having children was probably less than 5%. So after we got married, I ran some tests, and I was actually coaching high school football at that time, and she keeps on calling me like, "When are you gonna come home? When are you gonna come home? When are you gonna come home?" So when I finally come home and she says, "Hey, I'm pregnant," first off, I was utterly surprised. First off, you're not expecting it, but especially knowing the fact of that not happening. But after seeing my children, we know that I've been very blessed to have 3 healthy kids.
After seeing everything that Adam went through, we decided as a couple and then as a family that it was important to start giving back to others, and that we started searching for different organizations.
So that was when actually Bill Suit ended up reaching out to me, and that's when we were really excited to become part of Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma and seeing how it's grown.
It was eye-opening to see these patients going through it. We're on the opposite side of the battle now. So it was really important for us as a family just to start giving back and being involved as much as we could.
We've been blessed to have over 10,000 individuals support our cause, whether they attended our race or donated, and over $2.5 million has been granted through that time. I would not have wished what I went through on anyone, but I know for myself and now my family, we are extremely thankful for the doctors, for the nurses, for everybody that has been involved to make sure that not only myself, but other patients like myself have been able to come through and have success with their battle.
The one word I would describe my dad is that he's a warrior. It means that he's tough and he can fight through things.
No matter what's going on, my family won't miss the race every year.
If I could say anything to the doctors and nurses, I would say thank you for saving my dad's life. Obviously, me, my brother, and sister wouldn't be here today without you. Thank you.
And to all the committee members, volunteers, there's countless number of people behind the scenes that we don't see on race day, but are doing so much work behind the scenes, donating their time, their money, their effort. We are so grateful for everything you've done. Thank you.